Hey guys, welcome to IT Contents channel, and in today's video I'm going to show you 10 amazing settings and application or softwares that are built into Linux Mint that you might not be aware of, and they are very nice. I'm even excited to show you right now. So let's get into the video. So the first one is every time you mount a disk, it appears on the desktop. As you can see, these are just part of my partitions for my external hard drives, as you can see. So if you don't want it to be showing the partitions here on the desktop, what you need to do is simple, just right click like that. Okay, once you right click, you go to where it says customize. Okay, so here under customize, as you can see, you have desktop settings. Click on desktop settings. So when desktop settings appears here, as you can see, you've got mounted disks. So if you don't want these disks to be showing, you just want to untick that, and as you can see, we don't have that anymore. Or a network folder, you can do that as well. So I don't want that, so I'll leave. I only want my home, trash, and computer. Okay, so you can close that, and I'll close this as well. So the next thing is, if you right click here on your taskbar, okay, you can customize how your panel looks and how it behaves. As you can see, if I go on panel settings, click on panel settings, here I can set it to auto hide itself like that, because most of the people don't like it while it's popping up, so they want it to be hiding itself. So if you want that, you just want to tick that and make sure that you set it to auto hide. So meaning if I want it, I just need to go at the bottom there to check it out. And also I can change the size of the panel depending to my preference, and these are the settings in terms of font, scale, color. You can change all that from here. Okay, so I'll close this. Then after you've set whatever you want on the taskbar, okay, you can right click here and go to system settings, or it's the same thing as going on the Mint logo and clicking that icon, which is the same thing as system settings. Okay, so here under system settings, we are going to do a lot of things here, very interesting stuff. If we start with this screensaver, okay, click on screensaver. This will allow you to set your PC if you want it to be sleeping or not. So if maybe you want to use the PC to be storing stuff on it, maybe in form of a save or some stuff like that, you can tick, you can click on the drop down there. Then once you click the drop down, if you want, you can set it to sleep after an hour, or if you want, you can just set it to never if you don't want it to sleep. So if you do that, it will set it to not to sleep. So it's up to you what you feel is better on that. Okay, so now after setting that, you can close. And also don't be confused when you see Ubuntu, because Linux Mint is based off of Ubuntu. Okay, so the other thing and the other cool feature is startup applications. Linux Mint has made it very easy for you to put in startup applications. So if you go here where it says startup like that, click that. Here, these are the already existing startup applications, but we can set our own by going add, customize. This is when you want to create a customized maybe SH file that you have to run on startup, or you want to say choose application, so you can click choose application. Then from here you can scroll and choose which application from your system that you want to run on boot. If I want to run Chrome on boot, so I can just click Chrome and say add application, and that will add it to our startup. Okay, so that's very easy and very nice. And also one other thing here also is notifications. So if you click notifications, okay, so here you can choose it to remove notifications after timeout, or you can go here, for example, let's say display notifications, click display notification. As you can see, it will pop up here by the top corner. So if you don't want it to be there, it's just a matter of ticking this. So you want it to be at the bottom here. When you click that, you should see it at the bottom. So that's also nice. Then if I close this, okay, moving on to other cool features as well, which is this Windows tiling. Okay, this is very nice because I'm about to demonstrate. So when you open this, by default, I don't know if you've noticed, but by default, if you drag any window and press it against the edge, that's what it will divide it into like two sections, which is the top part and the bottom part. Okay, so if you don't want it to do that, okay, what you can do is you can do something like this. So I'll bring it down, I'll take this maximize. Okay, if I click maximize there, meaning if I grab any window, drag it on any edge of the screen, leave it, it will make it as full screen. If you want that feature, it's just a matter of taking this setting here to make every time you grab a window to make it full screen. Okay, so I'll do that. Okay, so that's how you can make it full screen. And also there are just a bunch of settings here you can play with. Okay, you can add pixels and stuff like that. Moving on to the other cool features, which is hot corners. Okay, so hot corners is a very nice and interesting tool here built into Linux Mint, because if you see where my cursor is, if I move it to my corner there, you've seen what has happened. It's showing me all the desktop or workstations that I'm using at the moment. Okay, so meaning if I have two different workspaces, it's just a matter of me choosing a corner like that, and then it brings it back to normal. If I go on the corner again, it will minimize it for me and show me the workspaces, so I can be able to switch between workspaces, or I can just go back to the corner and do that. So the way you can set that up is click on hot corners. As you can see, hot corners is enabled, so if it wasn't enabled, just tick that if you want to use it. Then also you can choose here at the bottom what you want it to do. So run a command, show desktop, you can choose whatever you want. So for example, me, it was set to show workspace. Okay, I can click this corner here and choose that once I take my mouse there, my cursor there, I want it to show my desktop. So now if I do this, as you can see, I have my clean desktop without any other thing. If I go there again, I have our settings screen, which is one of the cool things as well. So if you like it, you just need to enable the four corners. They are enabled separately, as you can see there. So I'll close this. Okay, so this is just the beginning of all the cool features built into Linux Mint. So if you like the video so far, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any time I release a new video. So moving on, under preferences. Okay, so here this is the same thing. If you have been using Windows, this is the same thing as default applications if you're from Windows. Okay, so from here we can choose which applications we want when we want to do a certain task. For example, for videos, I can choose VLC player as my default video player. As you can see, for music I can do the same thing. I want VLC to be my main application, so we can do that. If it's text editor, if I want to open up a text editor or source code and stuff like that, I want it to use, let's say, another application, for example, and I can choose VS Code in a sense, and then I can say select. So that will set my new, every time I'm editing code, it will open up that instead of a normal text editor. So viewing PDF, I can choose here. If you have any other applications, you can choose it from the drop down. Okay, you can say other application, as you can see if it's not showing on the list. So this is the way you can set up your default applications in Linux. Okay, then here under removable media, if I click there, this is for your removable like flash drives and stuff like that. So here you can choose also what the actions that it performs once something is done. So for example, prompt or start programs on media insert. So if you want it every time you plug in a USB, it opens it and stuff like that, you can use this. Otherwise, if you don't feel like that's a very safe option, you can untick that. Okay, so now the other interesting thing now which we're going to look at is dual screen monitor setup. So if you want to set up, you have maybe 3 monitors or 4 monitors, you want to set them up, I'm going to show you how to do that right now. When you scroll down under hardware here, you have display, click on display. Okay, so as you can see, it's showing us how many screens I have at the moment. I have a dual screen setup at the moment with the 24-inch screen and the 19-inch screen. Okay, so I can move this about, let's say the 19-inch screen was on top of the 24-inch, let's say it's up here. Okay, so the way I would do that, I would drag this and put it on top like that. So meaning every time I want to access this screen here, I just need to go, my cursor needs to go up to access the screen above there. Okay, same thing if I have maybe a quad setup, one screen will be here and the other screen will be here, maybe one is there, so I can do that from here as well. And also if this monitor right there, it's set up in maybe vertical, as in a vertical setup, not a horizontal setup, you can also do all that just here. Okay, so rotation, I can choose which like angle I want it to be in, so I can rotate the screen so that it fits a certain layout that I'm doing at the moment. Okay, I'll leave it to normal. And also if you see your raise for the screen is maybe lower, it's just a matter of clicking and then choosing which one is the best for you, to show you the recommended one. Same thing as that. So if your monitor maybe supports maybe 120 Hz refresh rate and you can't see it there, you can easily click there and change. As you can see, mine is just maxed out like that. So this is the way you can do your dual screen setup, as you can see. So this is the layout itself. Okay, under settings, these are the settings, as you can see. Okay, so here disable automatic screen rotation. So this is something you want, which is something which is depending on preference, so you can switch it on or off. Okay, enable fractional scaling control, that's up to you as well. So once you do your display, okay, these are some of the settings you can also do, and this one is one of the best and I saved it for last, which is disk. Okay, so under disk you can do something amazing, which is you can do a benchmark on any hard drive that you have on your system. So let's say if your system is maybe slow, crashing a lot, you want to see how it's performing, you can see a benchmark on it because Linux Mint provides it. So let me show you. Okay, so if you go to disk, okay, click on disk, then you want to choose a hard disk that you want to perform the test on. As you can see, these are just, it will show you the partitions that your system has at the moment. So these are just some of the partitions that I have at the moment. Okay, so let's say if I wanted to do benchmark on any of these partitions, let's say for example I wanted to do it on designs, I would click designs, as you can see there. Then you go to the three dots, okay, and here you want to click where it says benchmark disk, click that. Okay, so from here I can say start benchmark. Okay, so here number of samples you can choose. As you can see, samples, it will even show you the description, number of samples, bigger number produces more smooth graphics, but the benchmark will take more time, as you can see. So here for example, for this test we're going to set it at 10 samples, and the size of the file which is going to be transferred, okay, the number of MBs, like that, read and write, and then big sample size tends to produce more accurate benchmark, as you can see there. Okay, so what we're going to do here, meaning I'm going to test it with 100 megabyte transfer. Okay, so here it will test the read, and then if I wanted to benchmark my writes, I can just tick that. Okay, so from here now you want to click start benchmark, and you should get this as normal. Just put in your password. As you can see, I'll put in the IT contents password and press enter. Then I can leave it, and then it should start doing its benchmark. So as you can see, there's a percentage there that will start popping up. So the samples is doing, that's tested 3 already. So it's testing how consistent transfers of maybe 100 megabytes per second can take, and trying to balance out everything, as you can see. So which is the percentage from here, then you've got the speed from here, and you've got the time in milliseconds, as you can see. So at the moment it has managed to test the 10. Okay, and here is just like calculating everything. So you just leave it to reach 100% there. Okay, so as you can see, once it has reached 100%, as you can see, the transfer speed for this drive, as you can see, for 100 megabits samples, or let's say files, it is maxing out at 32 MBs per second, as you can see, and it's kind of constant in that region. Okay, and as you can see, my time at this point where it has reached like the 90% there, as you can see. So you can use this to just test your hard drive, and as you can see, that's how you can do a benchmark on a hard drive in Linux Mint. Okay, so close this. I'll close this, and I'll also give you some of the bonus rounds that I kept here under keyboard. Click keyboard and then go to shortcuts. Here to give you a bunch of shortcuts built into Linux Mint. And as you can see, a shortcut for desktop, it's super D, which is the same thing as Windows key D. So usually if you are on Windows, you've used this command before, which is Windows D. That will bring up your desktop. As you can see, if I press Windows and D, as you can see, I have my clean desktop. If I press it again, it's back again. So if you like the video, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any time I release a new video. And surely check out the other videos on how to install Linux Mint, on how to boot from Linux Mint from a flash drive in the description below. See you in the next video.